So, Wrestle Kingdom 17 just ended. Mind you, great show. I'm going to cover it in its entirety on my podcast, the Sooplex City podcast, probably in a few hours. It is 9:27 a.m., so the show ended, let's say, about an hour and a half ago, maybe. I'm really trying to gather all my thoughts, put my notes together for the episode of the podcast, and I wanted to make like kind of a single video to talk about this because I talked about it lightly on the stream that I did. I did a live stream for Wrestle Kingdom, which, first things first, that was the biggest stream I've done in years. That Wrestle Kingdom live stream, 300 people turned up for it. You guys are the best if you guys tuned in for it, and I hope you guys watch more live streams like that in the very future. Back to my point. So like I said, Wrestle Kingdom 17 as a whole, I enjoyed. But there is one aspect that I really disliked about this show. And there were other things about this show that I disliked, but this is probably the aspect that I felt like was worth having a discussion about, especially because I feel like it's important for New Japan to know this going into the new year with a new championship. So one of the things I disliked a lot about this show was the women's championship match between Tam Nakano and Kairi for the IWGP Women's Championship. Now, you're probably going to ask, well, why did you not like the women's match? It's not that I didn't like the women's match in general, but I like Stardom, and I love the women there. Tam Nakano is one of my favorite, if not my favorite wrestler in Stardom. So seeing her go up against Kairi, who I've watched for many, many years, perform in WWE and before WWE, I was extremely excited for this match. Now, the hype behind majority of the show, let's be honest, the hype behind majority of the show was surrounding the appearance of Mercedes Renato, Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks, which I get entirely. Most of this match was built around, actually the entirety of this match was built around the debut of Sasha Banks. It's kind of sad when you think about it that the entirety of this match was just to put forth Sasha Banks debuting. Like, in retrospect, I would have liked this match to have had more build other than it being the catalyst for something else. Here's my big issue with the match. My big issue with the match is that you have two very talented women on the biggest Japanese wrestling show of the year, because, yeah, you could say Stardom has Wrestle Kingdom, you could say Noah has Noah the New Year, but nothing's bigger than Wrestle Kingdom. Nothing's bigger than New Japan Pro Wrestling Wrestle Kingdom in the Tokyo Dome. Nothing's bigger than that in that country, in that region. And New Japan just established their women's division. And I have to put quotes on women's division because, let's be honest, they don't have a women's division. They're just borrowing Stardom's women's division for the use of their championship. Now, it's the second match on the show. The first match was Lio Rush and Yo versus Francesco Akira and TJP. Really good match. Leads into Kairi and Tam Nakano. I'm hyping it up. I'm excited. Bell rings. It's good. Like, the content within the match was good. I can't say it was a bad match, but just as soon as I felt like they were getting out of Act 1, the match was over. It ended. Kairi hit the insane elbow. It was over. And I'm like, what? That was very disappointing. That seemed rather short. And I was very disappointed up until the lights cut off. And then Sasha Banks came out, Mercedes Moné, she came out. She challenged Kairi at, I believe, a San Jose show, Battle in the Valley for New Japan. They're having a New Japan Strong show. It's going to sell out if it hasn't sold out already. It's going to be great. But this was the first, like, big women's... Now, listen, they had a women's match on Wrestle Kingdom in 2020. It was not on the main show. It was on a pre-show. It was untelevised because at the time, Stardom was under the TV rights deal, I believe, of Bushiroad or something along those lines, and they couldn't actually get the Stardom women on New Japan World. In 2021, same thing. They couldn't get the women of Stardom on the actual show. They were just on the pre-show, untelevised. 2022, they were actually able to get the women of Stardom on the main show, and they had them in a tag team match. And the tag team match was really good, and the tag team match got close to 10 minutes. They actually got time to go out there and perform. This match was almost half of the time of the tag team match that happened last year. This match went 5 minutes and like some change. 5 minutes and 47 seconds. 5 minutes and 47 seconds. This was the shortest match on the entire show. And not only is it the shortest match on Wrestle Kingdom 17, it is the shortest match in Wrestle Kingdom's history since Wrestle Kingdom 9 back in 2015, which was then a 8-man tag match that was very insignificant. Yeah, an 8-man tag match going 5 minutes, whatever. But your IWGP Women's Championship match on the biggest stage of your company going 5 minutes, I felt like is not a really good testament for what's to come for the women's division. Yes, you have Sasha Banks in the company now, but it is a huge letdown to have a match like Kairi versus Tam Nakano only go 5 minutes and 47 seconds. I felt like that was really just a glance over everything that title was supposed to be. Because yes, now Sasha's here, she's going after the title, and she's more than likely going to win it. But are we going to see this as a trend? Like, this is going to be a thing, right? And yeah, and you can say that the first match that was contested for the title, for the inaugural championship between Mayu Iwatani and Kairi, that went like 30 minutes. And yeah, it did win 30 minutes, and it was a great match, but that was also on a Stardom/New Japan crossover show, where Stardom and New Japan were on the same level. It was an even divide. You had Stardom and New Japan teaming with each other. So they really didn't have much of a choice but to feature that match on the show. But now you go back to the New Japan wrestlers, and the Stardom women's are a complete afterthought. Sasha Banks was a big deal on the show for the American audience. Because when I think about it this way, if WrestleMania would have Bianca Belair versus Charlotte Flair go 5 minutes and 47 seconds, Twitter would rake WWE over the coals. It would be a house fire at WWE headquarters, because it would be flooded with hate and vitriol from the wrestling community for giving the women 5 minutes. And the only reason why people aren't complaining about this match getting 5 minutes is because Sasha Banks came out right after. If Sasha Banks did not come out on this show at all, and this went 5 minutes and 47 seconds, I bet you probably would have heard from people. But I'm going to say it because no one else will, because Sasha Banks just basically glanced over the whole thing. Because like I said in the beginning, this whole match, this whole thing was just to set up Sasha Banks being there. And I love Sasha Banks. I really do. And I love the women of Stardom equally. Which is why I felt like it was a sad situation that the women of Stardom and the entire women's championship got completely casted out of the equation. Because if you take the women's championship out of this night, it wouldn't affect the show whatsoever. This was a disappointment, especially for your first Wrestle Kingdom with the IWGP Women's Championship on the line. You could have cut a lot of matches down in time and gave this match 10 to 15 minutes. So I hope this is not a sign of the times for that championship, and they're going to be getting short times when they're on. Because like I said, this was the first time we've seen a championship match for the women on a men's card, an all men's card, which is what New Japan is. And maybe it's just that they are not used to booking women's matches, so they don't know how to do it properly. Maybe we gotta give them more time. Maybe I'm being unfair. Maybe I'm being unreasonable. You guys can tell me down below. I just felt like this situation could have been handled a lot differently if some things were cut down and more importance was put on the championship rather than it being a setup for Sasha Banks debuting. But what do you guys think? Comment down below. Let me know. I'm curious to see what you guys think about the whole Sasha Banks thing and Kairi versus Tam Nakano. Because if we get to Battle in the Valley and their match is short too, then there's an issue. Now, if we get to that point and the match is like 20 minutes and it's a barn burner, we could just say booking mistake, L New Japan for this one night. But if going forward, this is going to be the case. But guys, let me know down below what you guys think. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.